Any podcast recommendations? You don't want my podcast recommendations because I only listen to stuff about economics. I know. It's not even real. They're my favorite fiction podcasts. Oh, I'd say all the economics podcasts I listen to. But in all honesty, if you are looking for economics podcasts, I'm not trying to flex at all. This is just, they say speak to what you know. And what I know is taking a 2-hour-long walk while the baby has her nap while listening to economics podcasts. Rational Reminder is goated. The Compound and Friends is goated. Animal Spirits is goated. Everything else, it's as you see. Help me. It's to your level of desire. Like, I wouldn't necessarily. Fuck. I looked at where I was and I was like, 4 seconds? I could probably do it. And then a second later, I was dead. Anyway, have you hedged your portfolio from foreign currency fluctuations? Bro, I live in a foreign country. Americans be like, hey, what's it like buying things in a foreign currency? Bitch, I live here. Your currency's a foreign currency to me. Although it's complicated because I get paid in it. So I guess it's also kind of like a... We'll lead us to kings. We'll freaking lead us to kings. Did I run the... okay, the casino's running. Do you need a US bank? No. Although I did like someone said, do you need to convert it to Canadian dollars? Well, like to buy goods and services? Yes. I know, listen, it wasn't even like a rude question. But yes, to purchase things in Canada, you do need to use Canadian dollars for the most part. I know in America, you use American dollars to purchase things, or as you call them, dollars. But in other countries, usually business is done in the local currency. Is the Canadian dollar stronger or weaker? A lot weaker. The US dollar is had an incredible year. Yeah, the US dollar is actually like so strong right now that it's bad for everybody, including America. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, again, you should just listen to the podcast if you're interested. If you're not interested, which you're probably not, I'll just shut up. It doesn't matter. If you go out for dinner, did they say that will be 4 Canadian dollars? No, they do not. It just has a dollar sign next to it on the bill. It is also, there's, 4 Canadian dollars. What is that for the still water? Is that for the tap water? Jeez Louise, holy cow! Dinner for $4. Yes, the Canadian dollar sign is the same as the American dollar sign. But can I tell you something crazy? In Quebec, instead of using a decimal point to denote the difference between dollars and cents in a price, sometimes they use a freaking comma. So you're like, what? This sandwich is $11,000? But then you're like, no, you're just using a comma. I get it. $11 sandwich, what the hell? Listen, it's $11 Canadian, okay? Which is, trying to run the numbers, but like $1 Canadian is like 76 cents American right now. So it's like an $8 sandwich, which is actually like a pretty reasonable cost in 2022. I'm not saying cheap, I'm saying reasonable. I know you can get an egg salad sandwich at the gas station in the suburbs outside of Omaha, Nebraska for $3.75, but I don't live there and nobody does. So let's talk about some stuff, let's talk about some places where human beings actually reside. No offense, Mr. Buffett. Hey, NL, what's your major complaint about low-cost index funds? They could always be lower cost, I suppose. I would say that's my... I understand, you look at something like VEQT, it's got a 20 basis point carrying cost. And then you're like, well, then there's XEQT, that's got an 18 basis point carrying cost. Why not go to... Can we get Vanguard to maybe take it down to 17 basis points? Could we keep some competition going there? I don't know. You know what? Give me more speed. Ban whoever asked that question. Okay, I'm sorry I have to ban you. Sorry I have to ban you. How are you diversifying your portfolio in these trying times? You know, I was, again, this is like I'm sorry for the economics talk, but it's very funny to me. Because it's the behavioral finance, it's you read about it and then you're like, I don't know about all this. And then you watch it play out and you're like, you know what? I think they're kind of onto something. Last year when we were at all-time highs and everyone was like, this is so overinflated, people were like, why wouldn't you take leverage to buy stocks? It's free money. The interest rate's like 25%. Now things are down like, 25% year to date. And people are like, why would you ever invest in the market? You should be in all cash right now. People are literally, the sentiment has people like contra opposed to what the data says is the best behavior. When things are expensive, people are like, I love buying this stuff. When things are cheap, they're like, I would never buy anything. Anyway, sorry, that's it. That's why momentum strategies exist. Well, okay, and now I understand. Look, I don't work in economics, okay? I understand momentum actually is one of the factors that accounts for the risk premium, okay? So I'm not trying to suggest that there's no value to momentum. I'm merely well, you know what you don't hear people say is like, whatever. Let's move on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Sorry. I'm just saying, have you guys read the Fama and French papers? No, me neither, but I've heard summaries of them. NL about to have some very specific chat rules. Chat rules. If we discuss economics, you must sign the terms of service that says you believe in the efficient market hypothesis. That doesn't mean you believe that it fully explains all asset pricing, but it means you accept that all models are inherently and necessarily false, but can still serve as useful approximations of things that are happening in the real world. And then good vibes only. That's rule number 2 is good vibes only.